Good afternoon and welcome to Alderley Edge and Omoda. Yes, the brand that we saw at the magazine in London. We now get a chance to get behind the wheel and really see what it's made of without the glitz and glamour of London. And more Manchester. Should be fun. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. First things first, who are Omoda? Well, they're a Chinese brand as part of Chery. They have 12 million customers globally, dealers everywhere. So we've got Omoda and JQ that are launching in the UK. Now JQ is more an off-roady brand, but more premium. Not to say this isn't. They offer petrol, electric, hybrid, and even PHEV. Now the thing that will really stagger you is the starting price, £25,000 for a petrol, which is amazing. And they've hit the UK market as they mean to go on. You get a 7-year warranty and things like auto renew and recovery. DHL shipped parts. So that part can be in the dealership at the garage, ready to repair the vehicle if anything untoward does happen. But their track record globally is pretty damn immense. You know, all the types of things that you want, especially with a car that you're buying from, well, a brand you've not really heard of. They may be massive globally, but let's face it, the UK haven't really heard of them. They've already got 60 dealers, but they're heading for in total 120. But that means that you can get it serviced. It means you can go and buy one. You know, building that infrastructure initially is key, as we've seen with so many manufacturers. Because let's face it, the online system is not what a UK buyer wants. Now it's rather clever of Omoda to launch two vehicles simultaneously that look very similar, but differ in technologies. So you've got the E5 and then you've got the 5 Petrol. What I think we'll do is compare them so we can see what you get with the petrol model, which starts at 25,000, which is quite staggering, and then the electric model, which starts at around 33,000, which is also exceptionally good. It's interesting to see both vehicles next to each other, but you can tell that 5 was the first because there's more refinements to a point on the E5. So this is the E5. And the Comfort starts at around 33,000. Then you can go for the Noble at around 35,000. Comfort isn't standard, it's a decent level. And then Noble is a more so level. To put it simply, you're paying B segment SUV money for a C segment. I mean, for a start, just look at the colour. We've lovingly called this mint choc chip green, but it pretty much lacks nothing, especially when you go for the Noble. Sunroof, dual chargers, and they may look like the same vehicle. I mean, they are platform wise, but even the aesthetics differ. When it comes to the powertrains, we've got a 1.6 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it's coupled to a 7-speed DCT and a single motor with a 61 kilowatt hour battery, blade technology, so all puncture proof and so on, for the electric, and a 257 mile range. Acceleration, very similar, about 7.5. The electric's around 200 horsepower and the petrol 180 horsepower. It reminds me in a way of Eclipse Cross. Sad to see that go. Mind you, sad to see Mitsubishi go. But it's nice that we're seeing all these new brands coming. Aura, BYD, Omoda. If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. Slimline LEDs wrapped around the clamshell bonnet. Just look at the curvature. Flush, love it. Black glosses and a rather imposing front, I suppose you call it a lower grille. It really suits it. The way that these jut out, and these little styling cues here, it's just that bit different. If you've noticed, it almost overhangs. And I think that's a really unique design feature. And let's face it, when you make an SUV nowadays, you have to stand out. Big windscreen, lots of safety, everything from AEB through to collision detection, mitigation systems, cameras and sensors all over the vehicle. And if you go for the Comfort, you'll get a reversing camera. If you go for the Noble, you'll get a 360. Petrol engine needs to cool, so we've got the grille. Diamond-esque styling. This is very similar, and yes, the general shape of the front bumper. But that's in keeping with the Omoda design language. Omoda, once again here, but if you've noticed, because it's not the EV, it's not down here. But at a glance, you can still say it's a 5. The standard equipment across these vehicles is pretty damn substantial. LEDs all around, and a NCAP 5. Moving to the side, well, traditional SUV shape. Black cladding around here, and lots of space in the arches, but these both are front-wheel drive. Keyless entry, power folding mirrors, and just a clean design on the side. And finished off nicely with polished metal roof rails. And look, yes, you've spotted it. A decent ride height, which in turn comes with doors that cover the sills. Amazing. I love the colour scheme. It's not just that the bodywork's mint, it's the fact that you've got, say, the black mirrors, but you've still got mint door handles. Black slope here. Oh, it's an attractive SUV. And I'd be hard pushed whether to choose petrol or electric. I suppose if you're going to go down the electric route, it's better to have, say, a Type 2 charger. Speaking of charging, 30 to 80% in 26 minutes, and a speed of up to 80 kilowatts. The one thing that stands out to me on this one is two-tone. So yes, when you go for that trim, you can choose different colour schemes too. Cladding once again, and a different style wheel. Both 18s though, and it's not the lowest profile tyre. Black mirrors, colour-coded door handles. So look at the key. It's a design statement all on its own. Let's take a look inside. The door opens nice and wide. Yes, you can turn that down. Something rather unique. Decent opening and soft touches. Padded areas. Premium feel. And a decent door pocket. 6-speaker Sony sound system. Immense. The door cards differ. You've still got padded areas, but I suppose it's a different finish. Decent door pocket. Climbing in. Wow, child's play. Mood lighting. No grab handle. Same steering wheel, but once again we're now seeing differences in the interior. Lovely comfortable buckety seats, and yes, we've got manual because we've got the comfort, but if you go for the Noble you'll get electric. Big screens, and we've also got, it looks like a centre monitor type thing to make sure you keep your eyes on the road. Flat bottom steering wheel and finished rather nicely. Some shortcut buttons down here including fogs. And you can open your charging flap. It's finished to a high standard, and it's good to see that the electric differs to the petrol, because that's the one thing I look for. Solid. I love this floating centre console. Nice movement. This is more substantial. This is a proper beast of a centre console. Storage points here. Great switch gear. Soft touches. You will find harder plastics if you head down, but they're of a decent quality. It would have been nice to see some padding here, but where do you draw the line? Nice to see we've got a padded armrest in the centre, and it's just wide enough for Annabelle and myself. Lots of storage areas, wireless charging pad, and I do like the finish on these buttons. As for the screens, just gives it a really modern feel. The one thing that is lacking is things like rotaries and buttons. Saying that, you do have some on the steering wheel. So we've got dual screens once again, but if you've noticed, it's not curved. Still looks pretty damn good though. And more of a, I suppose, like an analog layout for the cluster. Very cool. I know there's practically no reason to have digital analog, but it's something I like. And just look at these sporty seats. They remind me of Porsche Tombstones. And the piping, proper old school. Things like Astra GTE, comfortable. Faux leather and a lovely cloth section. Certain things differ in here that you just wouldn't expect. Even the seats are very supportive, and once again you've got the piping too. And because we've got the Noble, I've got an electric seat, and so's Annabelle. Lots of adjustment, including height. Because we've got the petrol, we've got a shifter in the centre. Same with things like your heated seats. More physical buttons and rotaries in this one. Also things like proper volume switch, nice. Park, reverse, neutral and drive, and driving modes. Cup holders, and a padded armrest. And it looks to me, it's got ventilation too. Perfect. Glove boxes on both, decent size. Considering they're the same, they do differ quite a bit. Sony system once again. Storage areas throughout. It's also jam-packed with features. Everything from USBs up here for your dash cam to auto dimming mirrors. And this is especially innovative. Phone charger with a cooling fan. And this reminds me of Dorothy. Nice to see proper stalks. Headroom, I think that's about 2 inches, so that's not particularly bad. Footrest on the left hand side, nice for a long haul. One of the things that differs between this and the Petrol is the fact that we've got a curved screen. So you've got your infotainment on the left and your cluster on the right. You can see everything that you need to with the safety, the media, and your speedo, etc., charge rate, and when you're regenning. Moving to the infotainment. Responsive and very quick processors. So, yes, no physical buttons, but it's one of those things that you'll get used to. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, and you'll find settings in there. You can also see your efficiency and all manner of things. Install apps and OTA updates. It's got everything it needs. Right, I suppose I better take a quick look at the back. I almost forgot. Adjustable seat belts. I love the cladding that wraps around the side. It's almost like a carbon fibre style trim. Also this design line. Look at this for a shaping of a window. Very cool. Sloping roofline. I wonder how that will affect headroom in the rear. Discs all round with the front vented. And yes, it stops as well as it goes. Take a look in the rear. The door opens nice and wide, and look at that. Finish the same as the front. Soft touches everywhere. Even curvature in this panel here. Nice. Decent door pocket, and it looks child's play fine once again. I have to duck my head, but apart from that, it's not bad at all. Now bear in mind this is set for me at 6'3". Mat pocket, and I can just about get my feet under the seat because there seems to be a ridge on the floor, but there's nothing really to write home about. USBs in the centre, and if you go for the Noble, you'll even get heated rear seats. It's comfortable, and if you've noticed, it's finished the same way as the front. It very much reminds me of Genesis. Not a bad thing. Lots of space, and it is interesting that you haven't got a rear window here, even though it appears that you've got one on the outside. But there's something comforting about it. It reminds me of old Bentleys. Interesting, eh? Light headliner, and if you go for a Noble, you'll also get a sunroof. Grab handle above every door except the driver's. USB-A, USB-C, and a vent. It would have been nice to see this padded, but it doesn't really need it. I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel. Headroom, about an inch. I also think the rear bench is raised a little, and it means you get a perfect view out the windscreen. This is finished as well as the front. Pull down armrest with cup holders. And I think that's about your lot. Oh no, Isofix points and airbags around the vehicle too. Let's take a look at the back. One thing I've noticed with this vehicle is it's very easy to climb out of because of the ride height. I mean, you've still got the padded areas here, but the door cards are finished in such a different way. It's the same with the centre console. Even the seats are different, but practicality and versatility wise, they're the same. It's just this has got some really cool features as well that you won't find in that. For example, the blue swirly thing on the dashboard. Both are fully equipped. Obviously the efficiency settings in this will be different, but generally what they've done is taken the Petrol and electrified it and done some tweaks as well. And they've done a damn good job. The rear is somewhat of a design icon. Look at the flow here, right round. And this mini ducktail spoiler. Very old school. Slimline LEDs and black glosses. And just look at the sporty rear spoiler. High level brake light and tech. Not quite fully loaded, but pretty damn close. So reversing camera, parking sensors, and things like rear cross traffic alert. And I'm especially fond of the two-tone. And just look at the ride height from the rear. Lovely. Okay, let's take a look in the boot. As with the Comfort, we don't have a power tailgate. Decent boot size, quite easily get a month's worth of shopping in there. And holidays, or what, family's worth of suitcases quite easily. And if you lift up the floor, a proper spare wheel. And there's the charger too. We've got tethering points, but they're anchored to the floor as opposed to the body. 12-volt socket, and it's illuminated on the left-hand side. No boot lip, making it really easy to load. Pulling out the parcel shelf, little strings, amazing. Pull these out, and we just literally pull it out so it hooks over. Drop the seat, push in the latch, and there we go. Lays relatively flat and not too big a gap here. Imagine tip runs in something like this. You get loads in there. One thing I would have liked to see is reclining seats and also rear seats that slid backwards. Maybe we'll see that in the next gen. Because we've got a Noble, we have a power tailgate. Interestingly, it doesn't beep. And this is the 290T in case you're wondering which the model is. And this time, no spare wheel. Just extra storage. Interesting. Let's take a look under the bonnet. Pull this lever here. Slide the little lever left and struts immense. And look, a frunk. Well done, Omoda. Decent size too. And as we learnt with the Tesla, that's where you keep your takeaways. And that way it doesn't permeate around the interior. Nice and easy to see where you top up fluids too. One final thing. Where do you charge it? Let's find out. Ta-da! And then you've got access here. Very straightforward. And you can lift this up to about here. Yep, you've got your Type 2 and then you've got your Rapid. And illumination there. So that will show you when it's charging, etc, etc. And yes, you can get an app. And you can use it to preheat and all types of things. On the floor here, you've got the petrol cap release. And if I pull this back, that releases the bonnet. We do. There we go, 1.6 turbo gasoline direct injection. Use it to see where to top up fluids. And yeah, good to see a proper petrol engine. And a manufacturer launching with one. This. Good old school engineering if you've noticed. Reminds me of Dorothy. Very cool. I think what remains now it's very quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, the refinement is excellent.
Hear a little bit of tyre noise. You can hear me perfectly clearly. Ooh, lively.
Got a bit of a wheel spin on there, Ben.
Nice overwatch.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit and stay on.
Look at the sequential indicators.
A538.
Very smart. We can seriously launch. Well, you can tell we're in Alderley Edge. Bentley. Wonder what else we'll see. This is like Lambo country. What a place to drive the new Omoda E5. The driving experience. You can tell it's been tuned in Germany for UK roads. It doesn't pitch and wallow, does it? It feels rather grounded.
Yeah, there's a little bit of body roll, but that adds.
Well, it's an SUV as well. There's a little bit of movement, but
adds to the comfort, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's spot on. Steering's good too. Responsive. Good feedback. Nice and weighty. And you've got the power as well. Mind you, I think these are about 170, 180 brake horsepower. Oh look, a Rolls Royce this time. I can feel a decent level of regen as well, and that's just getting in and driving it without setting anything.
Definitely comfortable as a passenger. Buckety seats, hold you well.
Yeah, no, it's well appointed. It's a pleasant drive. It's well balanced. Considering it's quite a windy day, it's not moving around. It's got a decent ride height, but not to the point that it feels topply. Now the E5, it offers a lot. Also, it's got significant changes to the petrol. I can't believe the price that they enter the market at as well.
And 33 for the EV. Comfort.
Which we're in. Welcome behind the wheel of the Petrol Omoda. So under the bonnet we've got a 1.6 turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and we're in pursuit of the E5 in front with Dave from Autobears. It's pulling quite well, isn't it?
It does really do. Yeah,
Ooh.
it does really pull, sorry.
It's a 7-speed DCT as well, so our experiences of turbocharged engines with DCTs is pretty good. Suspension wise, it's taking its road well, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you know, we're at Alderley Edge, and if you've noticed how well that handles as well, it just stays glued to the road. But that's what we found. We're trying to balance and see, okay, so how does it differ having a powertrain like a petrol engine or an electric motor with batteries, which, as we know, adds excess weight. Because most EVs handle exceptionally well due to that exceptional weight. But as we drove the new HS and the new ZS last week, even their platforms has changed. So I suppose the idea was to get behind the wheel of the Omoda 5s and see what it offers in comparison to the rest of the SUVs in the UK. So they go to Germany and then they're checked over, and then that's where they tweak the suspension, spring rates, etc. Because let's face it, China is very straight and people want big, comfy SUVs, whereas over here we need a little more agility and dynamicness. Well, it's shifting quick enough.
Yeah, there's no hesitation at all when you...
There wasn't then.
No, when you put
And
your
a
foot
kick down.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is fun. Now, I suppose the question is, do I prefer the electric or the petrol? And I think it's horses for courses in this occasion. I like a petrol engine, especially when it's got a turbocharger. It makes all the difference. And this feels well balanced. It doesn't feel underpowered. I'm going to turn off the start-stop because it's not my favourite feature. Also, it doesn't make it quite as fluid when it sets off. Seamless gear changes, slight bit of hesitation if you really kick down fast, but the majority of driving, no, it's as good as it can be, which is nice. Pulling off, nice. It's already into second gear. Third, road noise minimal.
No, it is refined in here, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's like the electric, but if you think about it, this is how it started out. So I presume a bit like Max's, they will have taken this and then gone, right, okay, let's whack an electric powertrain on it.
And why not? They've got the technology to do it.
Exactly. But it's nice that they offer a petrol.
Yeah.
You know, especially as a launch car.
Me, I'm excited to see the hybrid.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
But this is lovely to drive.
It really is.
Decent brakes.
Take the second exit. We're getting close.
And because we've got LEDs, great lights too.
It's nice that the LEDs are standard.
Little bit of body roll there, but we did go into a roundabout pretty quickly.
I didn't feel like I was being flown around the car though.
No, it's not pitching. No, this is
very nice, isn't it?
yeah, I've got all the safety in the middle as well. They both feel very similar. I think that one's slightly stiffer, but it makes sense because it's got batteries and a lot more weight. And this essentially was the first vehicle, I expect, because there are some distinct differences, aren't there?
Yeah.
When you put them next to each other. Yeah, it's got some decent power. Cluster's straightforward to read, and it's digital analog. On the right hand side we've got a rev counter. Everything's within easy grasp. As far as I've seen from the 5 and the E5, they offer a very similar experience, but one's just electric and one's petrol. And I suppose it depends on your budget. 25,000 for the petrol for a comfort, and then if you want to go for top of the range Noble on the electric, you're talking about 35, 36,000, which still is a very good price. Decent practicality, decent versatility, and above all, fun to drive in either electric or petrol. No, very enjoyable.